A queen is a woman who knows her worth. She is a leader. She is courageous. She is bold and outspoken. She is willing to do what many others simply aren't. I earned my crown. Welcome to Star Speaks. Welcome to the Boss BAE EXPO. Join us tonight as Black women discuss successful entrepreneurship in male-dominating industries. Introducing Nzinga Starnubia with Nubian Quirks. Celebrity Chef Keys with Savoring Flavors. Tashina Davis with Publish Your Gift. Angie with Too Lavish Brand. Geneva with Lovato 7. Welcome to Star Speaks, where we have healing conversations. I am your host, Nzinga Starnubia, and this is the very first Boss BAE EXPO. I am actually celebrating 3 years into my journey on entrepreneurship. A lot of you guys that follow my channel know that I have a series called the Boss BAE series, where I document my journey and just how far I've come in my brand, and you guys really love that content. And so I thought it would be dope to have a panel of Black women entrepreneurs and basically just sit and talk, drop gems, and talk about what it takes to really be an entrepreneur and all that it comes with. I'm going to introduce you guys to my panel. Actually, I want you guys to introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Tashina Davis. Online, I'm known as xtydavis.com. I'm the CEO and founder of publishyourgift.com, where I help busy, successful professionals in high-paying industries build authority and monetize their expertise. I've been an entrepreneur now for 15 years, a full-time entrepreneur for 10 years, and I've had multiple businesses. So I've learned all the ups, downs, all arounds of entrepreneurship, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me for this awesome discussion.
Hello everyone. My name is Chef Shakise Briscoe, better known as Chef Keys. I am a full-time celebrity private chef. I've been an entrepreneur full-time now since 2016, so about 5 years. I'm also working on an up-and-coming female chef apparel brand. So that's a little bit about me. And you can find me on social media at Top Chef Keys.
My name is Angie, and I am the owner of Too Lavish Brand, LLC. We are pretty much a luxury hair distributor. So we sell version extensions and wigs. And myself, I have started since 2017. Actually, yesterday was my 4th year. Thanks for reminding me, Star. So yes, I'm really excited to be a part of the show. And I am actually dabbing into different business ventures as well in the e-commerce space. So it's a little bit about me.
My name is Geneva. I am the CEO and owner of Lovato 7. I actually started in 2019. The business actually is a lifestyle apparel. Started the business after my brother actually was taken by gun violence. And that's where the name comes from. Is his middle name is Lovato. And coming from a family of 11 children, he was 7th in line. So Lovato 7. So he is basically the inspiration of the brand. And so I would say we've been in business for 19, 20, 3 years, going on 3 years.
Welcome, everyone. I'm just so excited for this. Like, I love talking about this stuff. So I want to jump right in. I want to talk about, the journey. Because even like I've come so far from just doing YouTube videos all the way back in 2015 to opening my brand in 2017, and going from selling on an Etsy shop, a small Etsy shop, to selling out my Etsy shop, to moving to getting my own website, to traveling with my brand. And now I'm like vending in malls with my brand. So I've it's always a journey from where you start, and it's a beautiful, beautiful process. So I want to talk about like what are some keys to success or keys to your success that you would say that has helped you along your journey. For me, I would say never getting comfortable is a really big thing for me, because I noticed that when I first started selling in a mall, I went from a couple $100s here and there a month to like selling online to like thousands in one weekend. And when
Mhm.
I did my first mall pop-up shop, I got comfortable. I was like, I made 3,000 in a week and I'm good. Like, I'm good till next month. And then I had to like ask myself, like, after, the next month came, I was like, damn, I felt like I got kind of lazy after I made that much money. I felt like I ain't have to work no more. Like, I ain't have to, push my brand anymore. And so now I'm like really conscious of that. And I'm like, you know what? Always think bigger and better. Like I had to literally start to open my mind as like, it's people making 3,000 in one day. How can I, expand that even more? So what are some things that you guys would say is a key to your success?
I'll share. So I'll say one of the most important and consistent keys to success for me has been decisiveness. Knowing when to make a decision, knowing how to make a decision, and having very definitive actions to support those decisions. So that has become like an ongoing behavior for me. And also, I've been able to expand that to my team so that they too kind of have that North Star to follow. So decisions are super, super important.
To piggyback off of what you said, Star, I definitely would say that being comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think that's very, very important on the road to success. I'm a risk taker. I think that's been like one of my greatest keys and goals. I'm not afraid to take a shot. I believe that the only shot you miss is the one you don't take.
I definitely agree with that wholeheartedly. But I would probably say for me, one of my key struggles is consistency. Like I'll just go, heavy on marketing, heavy on everything, showing off my brand, walking brand to, like after a certain amount of sales, getting real relaxed.
Mhm.
And I think that, at the end of the day, as long as you're consistent in your brand and you're a walking brand, that you're gonna always be successful.
I think for me, it is the it is the reason why, your why. Like my why is greater than me setting down and just being at a standstill. And of course, I said earlier that my inspiration comes from my brother that had passed, and he is my why. Um, Basically, to not allow his name to go silent. That's why the brand is after his name. So when I stand still, it's almost like silencing him out, and that's not what I want. That's not what I want to happen, especially seeing that he's a big part of why I do this. So that's what keeps me going to the next level, because my ultimate goal is that millions will actually know his name and his name won't fade out.
I want to ask you a question, Ty.
Mhm.
When you said decisiveness in making a decision, can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what I've found from being an entrepreneur and from training tons of entrepreneurs and just publishing books for a lot of entrepreneurs is a lot of times people struggle with pulling the trigger. And, you know, there's both the strength and the weakness to that. Obviously, the strength is when you pull the trigger, you're moving forward with your action. You're moving forward with your goal, or at least getting closer to your goal. But when you don't make a decision or you take too long to make a decision, you can fumble and miss opportunities. And I believe, our number one job as entrepreneurs is to consistently drive revenue. And that's what we should be doing every single day, making transactions. So if you're not making the right decisions or making decisions quickly enough, obviously this can hinder you. And there's another part to that too. Sometimes people do rush into decisions, right? So that's why I say having a very definitive list of actions, objectives, like all of your goals, all the things that you're trying to accomplish, that should be the North Star that you're constantly referring to, so that you can know, okay, is this a decision I need to make fast? Is this something maybe I need to say, wait, I need a day or two, give me a few days to decide on that, etc.
I am a person who, like, I have a lot going on, right? I do YouTube, I'm acting, I'm doing Nubian Corks, I have this talk show now. It's been such a struggle for me to really find like the focus to focus on like just one thing. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm always being pulled in different directions, and I'm at a point where it's like I just be like, listen, whenever God present an opportunity, I just know to go that way. You know what I mean? But it gets. I feel like I want to go into this new year being a little bit more headstrong and a little like time management is something that I struggle with. Time management and consistency in one area. I'm consistent throughout, but like I just jump from being in my Nubian Corks bag to being into this, and I can be a little like sporadic and all over the place. But I'm interested to know, like, we talk about entrepreneurship and being successful and all those things, but there's a lot that goes into it. Habits, routine, you know, when you're working for yourself, you don't have a boss that's telling you, hey, you got to clock in. Hey, you got to do this. Hey, it's like everything is on you. So, how has that worked for you guys in your business? I'm interested to know.
I'm fairly new to being a full-time entrepreneur, so I can relate to that. Like, it's like speaking to my soul star. So it's been a constant struggle. Um, being that person to motivate myself every morning. Now I've done sales, I've done management, I've done all of that. So I kind of like have to play so many different hats. So there's mornings where I'm just like, I'm gonna sleep in just a little bit longer, knowing I have all these things to do and they have to get done. And if they don't get done, that hinders me from my future plans on being successful. So like just that constant reminder, I have like a vision board, like, just being reminded constantly, whether that's 18 alarms or, constant annoying phones going off, whatever it is. But like, I just figured out time management is key. Having a schedule on the regular, like daily, whether it's something as simple as making up your bed, if that makes you feel better, like just do it. If you have to have coffee, whatever it is, but figuring out those habits and staying with them, because once you break that habit, you kind of know, okay, something's off. Like, so it kind of keeps me back
Mhm.
aligned with what I'm doing.
So I have, the very first thing is each month, the last week of each month is blocked. So, and obviously, all of us here and the viewers as well are in different industries, but depending on your industry and how you work day to day with your consumer, for me, I have my calendar blocked the last week of each month. So I'm only working on the business. My team have access to me, but my clients don't. So I don't do any calls. I don't do, and it doesn't matter, even if it's not client related. It could be something, like this, whether it's a live stream, podcast, whatever. I'll always decline, because that is the week where I am totally focused on reviewing the month and then preparing for the following month. And then day to day, my schedule is set up. Mondays are the same thing. Mondays are the days that I work on the business. So if you can see my calendar right now, like it's actually broken down into blocks of time. So like the first 2 hours every Monday, I'm reviewing financials. The next 2 hours, I'm reviewing projects, et cetera, et cetera. Tuesdays, Wednesdays are days that I do calls. So I'm generally talking all day long. And I don't have any other thing on the calendar. And the reason for that is to mitigate distractions. If I'm trying to juggle calls and do tasks and do this, something, the ball is going to get dropped somewhere, or either the task that I'm doing or the call that I'm focused on won't be done in excellence. So to make sure that I'm totally tapped in, no distractions on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Thursdays, which is today, Thursday is like my layover day. So whatever I did not get done between Monday and Wednesday, it's like my cleanup wrap up day. I spend I think my calendar is set from like 10 to 2 to do that. And then after 2 is free range. Like, it's self-care time, or don't do anything time, or do whatever I want time. And then Fridays are my mental health day. So that's how I manage my schedule.
I want to talk about social media for a second, because I want to know how much of a success does social media play into your guys' journey? You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of people who are under the impression that you have to be social media famous to hit, a certain milestone, or in order to make $1 million, or in order to, just expand your brands. And also, how are you guys using social media? How do you find balance? Because there's also people that will say you need to be posting 4 times a day. Now, Angie is like the queen of marketing on social media, like her reels, everything. Like, she's really good at it. I have to find balance, because I feel like I'm just not at that place of like wanting to be on my phone 24/7 in order to like make sales and stuff. So I want to know you guys' take on that.
Drop them gems.
I have a whole social media calendar. So that kind of like sets me in that range of constantly posting. I'm still figuring it out, but I know that it's just consistency. If people see me enough, they're going to remember who I am. That's how I look at it. So with all my all my business ventures, I'm trying to strategically figure out a way how to, consistently post. But that's the challenge, because I'm doing multiple businesses now. But like, just staying focused on myself and my brand and what I want to represent has been the easiest. And everything else kind of aligns with it. Like, it is very important to have separate accounts, of course. And Star, you do this very well as well. Separating your businesses from your personal. But as far as like just being consistent, I look at a lot of the trends. I do a lot of research behind it. There's a lot of creative sounds. And honestly, the key to my success would just be recycling. I know it sounds crazy, right? I just literally use the same content and put it on different platforms. That's the easiest way for me. If you have a short or a reel, you can start it off on TikTok, record it before you put it on Instagram without the splash. Like, TikTok likes to have their little TikTok logo everywhere. But I use that. I put it on Pinterest. I put it on YouTube Shorts. I put it on Reels, everywhere. Like, just spreading the content out so you're not working as hard. And then you can kind of like narrow down to your niche and all of that, afterwards. So hopefully that helps.
It does. Definitely a social media calendar.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And
That's
then
dope.
there's tools to support those calendars, so you have things like Zoho Social, you have Hootsuite. There's tons of tools out there where, like you said, you can just repurpose your content, have it scheduled, ready to go. And so the thing with me is I don't do anything with my own social media, but by me being a literary content specialist, I do create content plans for my clients. And then they are very successful because they execute those plans. Me, myself, is interesting because I was an entrepreneur. My journey as an entrepreneur started off pre-social media. So before, let's say, 2008 or 9, when Facebook really started popping. Like, before that, it was what was that platform called? Black something. I can't remember the name of it, but nonetheless, even back then, it was nothing like it is now, where we have reels and videos and hashtags and all of that. So for me, I still operate old school. Like I've really built my business from strategic partnerships. I study a lot of businesses, multi-million dollar businesses like Hilton and Walmart, and I look at a lot of gangster organizations, believe it or not, a lot of mob organizations. And I look at how they structured alliances and strategic partnerships. And I've adopted those models into my own business. And honestly, that's how I've had my reach, my visibility, and ultimately my success. That's not to say that social media should not be used. Again, I think it's about your consumer, what are your goals, and obviously how do you reach those consumers. If the fastest way to reach them and the way that's going to give you the most exposure is social media, then go for it, but have a plan. I think that's why it does not work for so many people, because one, they're just trying to go on and mimic what other people are doing. Oh, Star is doing this, she's doing this, she's doing, oh, let me try to do it, right? But they don't understand that there's actually a plan, a strategic plan in place for how you're doing this and why you're doing it. So social media is here to stay. We all know that. So if you're not on board, someone like me who really don't feel like figuring it all out, you hire someone and let them do it.
I love that you said that, because you're right. I mean, social media isn't going anywhere. And I think it's good that we obviously use it to our benefits, because it does help with like marketing and reaching people quickly and faster, especially during the pandemic. That's a great example of like, ain't no, in-person connection. It was all about your phone, who you could reach via Instagram, whatever you know what I mean? So that I think was a big takeaway from the pandemic, is how big social media is, and how it really helped a lot of businesses to flourish during that time.
And if I can add one thing, Star, too, I think people shouldn't get caught up in the concept of being on every platform. You don't have to be on every platform. You don't have to be on Facebook and on Twitter and on IG and on the new TikTok. Like, you don't need to be in all these places. So find your groove, find the platform where you are the most connected and you get the most engagement. So like for you, like you said, I'm not really on Facebook a lot, but my YouTube is popping, right?
Mm-hmm.
So master one platform, grow the audience on that platform, and then you get that platform to follow you on the next one where you want to get exposure there, right? Because this is what we call borrowing power. So if which we're all doing right now, we're borrowing Star's power, because when she when this is all of you viewers watching this, I think you have like over 90,000 viewers.
Mm-hmm.
These 90,000 people don't know me. I don't know if they know y'all, but I doubt if they know me, because our messaging is different, our audience is different. So now I'm getting exposure to 90,000 new people. So you do things like this, you find people that have access to the audience that you want to reach, and you say, sis, bro, can I borrow some power? Can I come on and talk a little bit about things that you and I have in common in terms of messaging? I'm not trying to come over and dominate your platform with my message, but how can we come in unity and share a message together? And then naturally, organically, some of those people will begin to follow you. And then, so going back to your analytics and looking at those trends, wow, I see my Facebook following has gone up. A lot of these people probably came from Star's platform. Now let me pump out more content that I know is going to penetrate with them. And then maybe you only, stay on those one or two platforms. It doesn't mean now you got to go on here, now you got to go on there. So I think that's another reason why people aren't great with social media. And either they start and they stop, or they start and they're inconsistent, because they just haven't figured out like that groove.
Another thing I want to talk about that is very important is mental health and self-care. Ty, I love how you said that you have a mental health day, a self-care day. That is so important, especially because when you are busy all the time, it's so easy to like not have any time to pour into yourself. You know what I mean? Like we're always chasing the bag and out and doing meetings and doing this and doing that. It's so important that we have time to come home and refill our cup before pouring into someone else's. You know what I mean? So I want to know about, what are your guys' self-care tips? Like, what do you guys do for self-care, keeping yourself spiritually aligned with your inner abundance? Because I read that book that you sent me, Ty, The Paths to Wealth, 7 spiritual laws to financial abundance. And what I love about that book is that it doesn't talk about really anything external. It's all about connecting with yourself every morning, waking up and connecting with yourself, setting intention, and going forth your day with that intention and being mindful of that intention. So, what are some like self-care things that you guys do to kind of just keep yourself in alignment with your goals?
One of the things that I do actually, and it's like every single day, but it's on a schedule, of course, but every day at 12 o'clock, I go straight to the gym. And I use that as my meditation. Even though I'm working out, I'm within myself. So, and of course, no kids. I have 3 kids, of course, at home. So I take that time that I'm taking care of myself. The kids are still at school, and I'm able to basically regain energy within that time, because then I'm not stressing over what's going on with the website, what's going on with Instagram, what's going on with my business, what do I need to do? I basically eliminate all tasks at that point in time and then head out to the gym and work out and just think about what's making me happy. So that's one of the things I do. And I do that every single day at 12 o'clock, stop everything. Everything is put to the side and I just think about myself. So yeah.
I love that.
That is powerful.
Yes.
I don't know if y'all folks out here caught that. But she said during that time, she thinks about what makes her happy. That's intentional, right? And it stood out to me because my therapist, that was one of the things she challenged me to do. It was like last year, but we were having a conversation and she was like, instead of thinking about all the things that's bad, or the things that's not working out the way that you want, when you're having your time for you, no, this is your time. So you should be uplifting and empowering yourself to think about, all the things that make you happy. So that was like really, really powerful. Thank you for the reminder, because I can't say that I fully practice that. I can't say that. So
I would say personally for me is and I guess this time is kind of shared, but I have a dog, so I take the moment and just walk him outside. Just constantly reminding myself, like, I feel like we often are working restrictedly from home, a lot of us, and it's kind of like just a moment for me to remember, okay, I'm outside. That smell of fresh air and just walking is like a reminder of my purpose, and I just kind of like just take that moment to reflect. I'm still working on that gym. I'm gonna get there. I'm going, but it's not as consistent. I need to get to that time.
The only thing I would say that I'm very, very conscious of, because like I said, sometimes I don't do therapy like I should. I don't go to the gym like I should. Like all the things we talk, I'm not consistent. But the one thing I am consistent with is boundaries. Like,
Right.
I don't play about my boundaries. And even Star, which I love, she doesn't take it personal. People that know me, that have my personal cell phone number, they don't take it personal when they text me at 10 and don't get a response to 8 at night. Like, that's not to say I'm not looking at my phone. I do glance over it. If it's an emergency, especially with a family member, I'm gonna hit you right back. But otherwise, like, we can talk later. This is my time to get things done. And it's funny, Star, because when you asked yesterday, I think you was like, can we change it to 6? Because I'm trying to accommodate someone. You see how fast I responded? And
yes.
I was like, nothing personal, but it's a boundary. It's a boundary for myself. And the reason I was so fast to say no is because my self-care on Thursday, I'm tapping into Stephanie Mills and Shaka Khan with my Hennessy and cranberry juice.
Okay.
It's my time. I work all week. This is my time. So I already knew when I'm done with Star and the ladies, This is my time. And then I'm gonna pass out, So set boundaries and be cool with it. Don't negotiate, don't compromise it. This is your time and you owe it to yourself.
Now, your story is very inspiring, and I want to talk a little bit about your journey because I met her following Nicki Minaj. Yeah, the people that know. Okay. Okay. I was a huge stan.
We both were.
We both were literally married to T Minaj. And obviously, since then, we've both grown and evolved so much. But like, I remember her starting out, just showing her cooking and stuff on Instagram. And next thing you know, all right, she's selling plates. All right, next thing you know, she's catering at the BET experience, cooking for celebrities. Like, girl, we got to talk about it. Let's talk about just your journey and how have you changed as far as like the person you were when you first started out to now?
Wow, my journey. Well, I am from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm from the hood. I come from the slums, y'all. I feel like where my journey really began, the change and the shift in who I was destined to be began with my mom, I really believe. Because she moved us from the hood to the county when I was just 12 years old. And it's funny because I had a complete culture shock, and I talk about this all the time. And it really was a culture shock to me to the point where I hated it. Like, I really, really hated it. But now being a 30-year-old woman and reflecting on things, it's like, wow, that was what I needed. That's what changed my life. That's what set the tone for who I am and who I've become. I think that was it was a crazy experience because I was ultimately like more afraid to be somewhere that was more safe for me than I was to be somewhere that was completely dangerous. And then from there, experiencing that culture shock, experiencing those different cultures and those different people kind of changed and molded who I am. And then from there, it just began with me like just taking risks. So I started with a vocational school for high schoolers. And I was in the culinary program there. And then from there, I just dove straight into the culinary industry. And then, yes, I did sell plates. I did that for a while. And then as far as me getting to work for celebrities and things, it was just me putting my head down and grinding. Honestly, that and God, that's when people ask me like, how did you get this? How did you get here? Because right now I'm a full-time private chef for Kevin Hart. And it's like, I swear it's just me. Like, I swear that it's just the grind and God. Like, that's all I could, that's the only answer that I have. Like, and I really do believe that also meditation, when I started to meditate, that completely changed my life. And I feel like meditation kind of set me on the track that I am now. But that's really what it is. And it's crazy because, like you guys said, social media, and I'm not like really, really avid on social media either. However, I've gotten a lot of my clientele by doing that. I've had Kamora Lee Simmons reach out to me to work for her. I've had basketball players and football players and things like that, or people like that reach out to me, and ultimately ended up with me being where I am now and me working for Kevin Hart.
Love that. That's so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that too, because I think this is why I wanted you to be like, I wanted all of you guys to be on just so that people can really be inspired by some of these stories. Ty, wait, tell me about, you posted on your Facebook, New Levels, New Devils.
Oof.
Ooh,
You said new levels, new devils.
You really want to talk about that? Thank you for bringing that up so much. It goes back, it's connected to the conversation that I just mentioned about hiring first employee. So for this particular position, we winded up getting, I think, like 90, applications, resume submissions, and then we narrowed it down to 6 final candidates. Interview, everybody had the same opportunity, everybody went through the same process, etc. Interviewed everybody, came to it. Now, let's be clear, most employers do not follow up with the people that's not getting a job. Can we all agree on that, right? But out of courtesy, just because of the way that I operate, which is treating people the way that I want to be treated. So I know that it's a competitive job market. I know right now it's just hard for everyone. So I'm like, I don't want anybody just sitting around waiting and wondering, did I get the job or not? Like, people are already dealing with all types of anxiety and mental illness, due to the pandemic. I don't want to contribute to it. So we send out the emails to the people that did not get the job. This one particular man, white man, okay, replies back and just, I don't know if he had a bad day. I don't know if he has been getting rejected a lot. I don't know what his problem was or is, but he replies back, "You made the wrong decision." And that wasn't it. It went on for like 3 paragraphs. And each paragraph, as I was reading it line by line, I literally felt like somebody was sitting there going like this to me. And again, I am a Black woman in a white male dominated industry. The publishing industry has always been a white male dominated industry. And for this man to be responding to me the way he was via email, I found it very offensive. I found it very disrespectful. And mostly, I found it to be oppressive. And I felt like he gonna learn today. He gonna learn that, guess what? Whatever the perception is of Black businesses, or maybe even Black women business owners, whatever that negative perception is out there, I'm gonna show you today how a Black woman that really runs a corporation, how we really get down, right? And I sicked my lawyer on him because he ended his email, and this is the part that really triggered me to make that post. New levels, new devils. New levels, meaning my company has reached a point where now independent contractors are not enough. I need actual employees that I can utilize a whole 40 hours a week based on employment laws, right? That is great for me. Why do I need that? Because we've reached new levels. We're going higher, and Biggie said it. More money, more problems. This is all the same thing, right? And just know that, entrepreneurs, with new levels come new devils. The more money, more problems. The higher you get, the more issues and challenges and everything that's going to come your way. My message is, don't get discouraged. Let this be the fuel that really pushes you to excel.
We have to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to dive more into passive streams of income and lots of other gems. So make sure you stay tuned. Join Nubian Quarks in celebrating our 3rd year anniversary. Shop now and get 50% off the entire website. Crystal kits, jewelry, Afrocentric earrings, body scrubs, and so much more. Invest in your healing this Black Friday with NubianQuarks.com. I do want to jump into multiple streams of income, passive streams of income, and how important that is, especially right now with where the economy is heading, to make sure that you are having multiple streams of income. I've been steadily, getting there and like building up my other sources of income. And I'm looking forward to I'm in the process of coming up with some digital products, because I'm seeing how amazing it is to, create one course or one masterclass and literally get paid for the rest of your life off of that one course in class. I want to know, what are some passive streams of income that you guys are invested in? I mean, I know we've got stocks and all those other things. So please share, because we want to know.
I was going to say, piggybacking off of that, I definitely am into stocks. So I trade options, and that's a great source of income. Obviously, it takes a little bit of studying and getting to know what you're doing. But that's one thing I do. And also, I am going to be tapping into the Airbnb in the Turo space here in a second. I just moved back to LA not long ago. So once I get settled here, that's going to be something else that I tap into.
I love that.
Yeah. I was going to say, So personally, from a wealth building standpoint, everyone should have, or at least strive to have, 7 streams of income, and passive income is definitely one of them. So for me, I too invest in stock and crypto. That's one way to make money. But for my business, since we're talking about entrepreneurship, is we also in the business, we also invest in stocks and crypto because we have investment accounts. So affiliate marketing, which is what you were talking about, Star.
Mhm.
So for us, because we know that our clients are going to kind of see a lot of the tools that we suggest that they use throughout the process, and afterwards, we also have like a list. So anytime we send them a suggested list of tools to use, it is our affiliate links. And if they sign up for any of those tools, then we collect passive revenue monthly. So my company makes about 4,000 a month just in passive revenue.
So I love passive income. That's one of my favorite things. But right now, I would say, like, me personally, my money maker is Walmart. I'm actually drop shipping on Walmart, and honestly, that's what's paying my bills. So as you all know, I recently quit my job back in July. So I've been trying to figure out a way to figure out how to supplement that income pretty much, so I can continue living my life. As I grow my business as well, I've poured a lot of money into my business, so I had to recoup the funds somehow, some way. And I'm actually furnishing my first Airbnb unit on December 1st, so that was a major milestone for me.
Yes.
It was actually the first time I'm ever actually announcing it. I've been trying to hold it in my soul for so long, but I'm really excited about that venture. So yeah, looking forward to growing into that stream, and housing travel nurses, and just figuring out how to grow that business, and real estate, of course, too. So I have my property and I have a tenant there. So I'm just really excited to expand into the real estate portfolio. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Love that.
Me
Oh,
too.
and
That is
go
amazing.
back to what I was saying. I actually am with the Walmart store. I have to build a team because I can't do that by myself. So now I made it where it's automation and it's like passive income. So I'm really excited about that. But I understand the struggles. It's 2 women who started this store together, me and my best friend, and I had to hire a male. And I feel like the dynamic was a little off in the beginning because he's being told what to do. He even asked me, what do I call you, ma'am or Mrs.? And I'm just like, my name. What? So I think the dynamic's a little off when it comes to that. So just learning like how to be, I should say delegate, honestly, delegate task, and not, if I'm paying you a percentage or you're getting a payment from me regardless, I just have to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and everybody's doing their task. So I'm learning that journey as well. So I'm excited.
I love that.
That's
You
amazing.
you talked about, you and Ty kind of touched on it a little bit when Ty had the situation with the white dude that tried to, right? And then you touched on it where you like, all right, now I got this guy who's like, I don't know what to call you, because a lot of people aren't used to Black women being in power, being the boss,
Mhm.
right? So I also wanted to touch on that and just like, how do we learn how to navigate that? Because I think that's really important of like, people need to really just start getting used to it. But at the same time, how do we demand that same level of respect?
Mm.
I say by and I think someone mentioned this early on, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? So it's showing up in these spaces and amplifying our voices.
Yep.
Everybody doesn't want to take on that role, but if that's something that you are passionate about, then you need to do the work. I sit on the board for the Independent Book Publisher Association, which is the oldest and largest association for independent publishers in the U.S. I've been a member for like 7 years. So I've seen the content, I've seen, everything about this organization because I'm coming here constantly for resources. What I didn't see was people that look like me. And again, going back to the problem being that I'm in a white male dominated industry, yet I know for sure I'm over here, really impacting lives and really operating in my gift and my area of expertise. There's more, but I ain't the only one. I mean, I know I'm dope, but I ain't the only one, right? It takes a while to get me out my shell. So I was like, I don't know. And I gotta go over here with white people too. Like this gonna be a lot, Ty, you know? But I knew that I had to be the one, if not you, then who? And I knew this was an opportunity to make a change for my people in publishing. So I had to get uncomfortable with being comfortable, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and go ahead, apply to become a board member. I was selected as a board member. At the time, I was the only Black board member. Now we have another sister that joined from Atlanta, but that's what we have to do, Star. We gotta show up in these spaces and just to again lend some power.
Representation is so important. So really breaking through those barriers, and maybe it does start with you just opening the door for people to feel more comfortable with a Black face being in the office. So I think that is very important, and I'm glad that you touched on representation. I do want to ask you guys, what books are you reading? Because that's so important as well, right? Is the knowledge, continuing to read and learn more. And we're always going to be in a learning process on our journeys of entrepreneurs. So I just wanted to ask, what books are you guys reading that is helping you in your career, your business, or what is some good reads that maybe you have read within the last year or two that have really helped you?
This is crazy, but one book that I'm actually rereading is, it's crazy, crazy. I know, 50 Cent's Hustle Harder and Hustle Smarter. There's aspects in that book that I use for different parts of my life. So not just business part of my life, but also when it comes that time for me, like when I work out and I want to achieve uh, a particular um, weight loss or muscle build. I use aspects in that book to help me do that. And then, like, when it comes time for me to cut people off, I hate cutting people off. Like, I'm one of those people that will be friends with someone and they'll do me wrong, and then I just still be friends. It, I just hate cutting people off. But then there's parts of that book where he talks about cutting those people off because they will bring you down. And I don't think I've ever read a book that actually targets multiple areas of my life. And even like with business and financial aspect of my life, he has points on that too.
I was just gonna ask Star if audio book counts, because I'm actually listening to one myself.
Absolutely, yes.
A Rich Dad Advisor book. It's Tax-Free Wealth. It's pretty much just about how to build like wealth with taking advantage of the tax, so lowering your taxes. And I think it's very interesting to me understanding how millionaires and billionaires are taking advantage of these taxes, and how, business owners and people who are in real estate can do the same thing. So that's just something I think is a really good read right now.
Right now, I'm focusing more on like my mindset in business. So I saw an interview a few months ago where Nipsey was talking about this book called Three Magic Words. So I picked that up and I'm actually rereading that, and because I believe that it's important to focus on your mindset first. And there's a few things that I still struggle with as far as my mindset goes. So that book is really helping me tap in on more levels than one, but definitely spiritual. So I think that that's a great read for anybody who wants to shift their mindset and really attract the things that they want to attract in their life.
We're going to go ahead and close out the show with just a few words for those who are watching who want to branch out, have their own business in 2022 and become an entrepreneur, what is some advice you would give from your perspective to someone who's like, hey, how can I start? Like, how can I, or what wise words can you give me embarking on this journey?
Trust your gut. Trust your gut. Um, don't let money be the goal. Let impact be.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you focus on impact, purpose, um, everything else will follow. But in that journey, you're going to have things like people wanting to do partnerships with you. Who should I hire? Who should I work with as a supplier, a vendor? And trust your gut when making those decisions. Everything that is shiny gold does not mean it is for you. It does not mean that it's the best. So tap into your gut. Your gut is God. And if you're aligned with yourself and you're aligned with God, He's never going to steer you wrong.
I definitely would say trust your gut. I would also say just do it. I know that a lot of people, or a lot of people that I know, who want to open businesses, it's always like, well, this is what I want to do, and I'm just like, well, just do it, just jump out there, just do it. Um, you never know what'll come once you take that first step, that risk, and also trusting the journey and enjoying the journey, because it's so important. We get so caught up on the end goal or the things that we want to do that we don't bask in the journey. It's like every part of that journey, the struggle, all of that is a part of the process. And you can talk to a billion rich people, and they'll all tell you that it was all a journey, it was all a process, and they also struggled. So you just have to trust your gut, trust the hustle, trust the struggle, and just enjoy and bask in that.
I want to say, get out your comfort zone. First and foremost, you will never know what's out there until you get out of that comfort zone. And that's one of the main things that got me even started, because I live in Virginia now, but I lived in Kansas and never left the state of Kansas my entire life, all the way up until the age of 33. I'm
Mm.
36 now. And I never imagined starting my own business until, I don't know, I'm pretty sure you guys know who Les Brown is. And I
Mhm.
started listening to him. I came across one of his YouTube videos, started listening to him, and he's, get out your comfort zone. Why am I still here? But my dreams and my aspirations were a lot bigger than what I was doing back in Kansas. So it's like, okay. And that's one of the main things that actually stick with me, and what pushes me along is getting out of your comfort zone. It's not always going to be comfortable. And that's what makes it that much more rewarding.
I mean, honestly, to tie everything together, I would just tell them to start. I think oftentimes we get so wrapped up in the research or, trying to perfect something. Nobody's business is perfect. Nobody is perfect. We are all learning every day. Like, if you don't start, how will you know if you're going to
Mhm.
be good at something? So just start.
Facts. And I think just to add on to that, going back to that why, right? Never go into something just for a bag, because, like Ty said, I've even had experiences where I'm making money at this job, but like I feel drained leaving every day. Like it's not, serving me mentally, spiritually, is actually taking away from me. So don't just go into it for the money, because honestly, when you're first starting out, it's going to take a moment for you to even really make the money to actually have in your account, because the first year or two is really just going straight back into the business. So really do something that you're passionate about, something that nobody else can do like you can, something that people ask you all the time, even if it's just, girl, how you get your hair to look like that? Think about the things that you're naturally good at and the things that you're naturally passionate about, like Chef Keys. She loves doing her job, right? She loves her job. And when you love what you're doing, you will be successful at it, because even if you're not making necessarily a certain amount of money, just the enjoyment and the fulfillment that you get every day working towards that dream is success in itself. So I will definitely say have a good why and really choose something that brightens your day. I want to thank all of you guys for coming on the show. And I want to thank all of the viewers for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. And I will see you on the next episode of Star Speaks.
I'm gonna cry. I'm so dramatic.
Because this moment means so much to me, and I'm so glad that y'all could be here to celebrate this moment with me.
3 days of growth.
Yeah!
Accomplishments. Oh, wait.
Bro, and this is the importance of really celebrating yourself.
Literally.
And celebrating the shit that you do, because when it's 10 years and we like really surrounded with all the fruits of our labor,
Literally.
you're gonna be like, bitch, look where we're at, bro. And we got here because of pure love and support.
Thanks.
You really did it. You really got your own business.
Right.
What the
I
fuck?
know,
We love your business, bitch. Like,
Ain't that y'all have been supporting since day one. Yes.
I said, Crystal.
Hold on. We said what? We
I
celebrating.
love y'all. Period.
We celebrating who? Nuclear quartz, boo.
I love you.
If your friend not making to be a friend,
You are the best. Literally, Lauren was like one of my first customers on Etsy.
She's out of her mind sometime. Overbearing, not too fond of caring. Sometime we crossed paths a couple times. At the time, we ain't aligned. Only thing on my mind, how I'ma make her mine. She love movies, she loves sitcoms with a twist. Tough to hear people explain even when she got the gist. She like rain, but only on occasion. It's amazing how her eyes fill with persuasion. So I found out she is gold, bigger than anybody knows, yeah. I wanna get up close, see what the universe shows. Classic and subtle like a rose. Yeah, the result of all my woes. They say the story goes, our verses mine, they juxtapose. Classic and subtle like a rose. Yeah, the result of all my woes. They say the story goes, our verses mine, they juxtapose. I said we just like Ruby and Savon, two holes in, they don't know the half. So I found out she is